Hi, and welcome back to the Bad Back Gardener. Today we're going to check out what's going on here in the raised bed garden. So far, right now, it's very early spring, and we got kind of a warmer day. It's up in the very low 50s, but I figured I'm going to get out here. And what I got going on this year, right now in the raised bed garden, is I had actually one part of my raised bed fence broke. I don't know what happened. Somebody hit it with something, or it just didn't really rot out, but it just broke for some reason. It got weak at some point and broke one of my poles for my raised bed. So rather than just replace it, what I'm going to do is, where you see that tall fence right up here, let me show you here. Okay, where the Y post is right here, you see this tall Y post. It used to jog in and go that way about 3 to 4 feet, and then come down along here and catch up with this other part of this fence here, right where this gate is. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of where it jogs in and just bring it out where you see these are part of the old fence here where I got lined up. It's going to come in, actually the ground's kind of painted, you might be able to see it in red, and put some new posts in on that side, which will expand the garden out enough for me to get a long bed here. It's going to be about 24 feet long, about 3 feet wide. That'll give me some more raised bed area, and fill that in with soil, and it'll give me a chance to rotate my crops a little bit more in my raised bed. So that's what we're going to be up to today. I got all the wood brought down here. I got some of the wood already cut for my project, and we'll get started with making the raised beds. Now it's on a slope, so one side's going to be as all these beds have been down in here, because it is a slight slope down here. You may have seen the videos that I made for the sloped raised bed garden. It's been one of my more popular videos, and it's a two-parter video, but it puts a little bit more of a complicated build into it when you got to make one side longer than the other. So I've kind of adjusted for that, and you'll see that along the way. I also made a video, if you're just building on a very flat area, it's a lot easier. I can put a bed together in 20 minutes for that. This is raised, this is on a little bit of a slope here, so to get it level or semi-level, it's a little bit more of a complicated matter, but it's not too bad. So between the raised beds, I like to leave about 3 feet, which is good enough for like a wheelbarrow to go through without hitting the sides and stuff. That gives me a lot of space enough to walk through the area and stuff. So there'll be about 3 feet between the old bed and the new bed here, and probably close to about 3 feet here between that and the fence, maybe a hair more. But I've already got it marked out some. I've come down beforehand. You can see this long post here is where the upper corner is going to be, and this end, it's going to be this end in the upper corner. And then down there's a little post, I don't know if you can see it or not, sticking up. That'll be the end of the 24-foot post. So there's nothing complicated about building these raised beds. They're actually very simple. To make a 3-foot wide bed, I cut the end boards to 39 inches, and that allows for the incoming boards on each side. That's your 3 inches, 1.5 inches on each side. That takes you down to 36 inches in the middle. And I just get 4x4 posts and cut them to the length of the bed, or the height of the bed on the upper side, and then a different height on the lower side for the longer boards. And basically that's all the cutting you need to do. You need to cut some 4x4s into the height posts, and you cut the end boards to the 39 inches, because the rest of it I always go in increments of 8. So this is a 24-foot bed. Most of my other beds are all 16 inches, or 16 feet, I'm sorry. So that limits my cutting that I have to do. So this one will be the 3 boards, 8-foot boards on each side. That gives me my 24 feet. Then in the middle, the only other cutting I really have to do is I take a decking board, 5/4 board decking board, and I'll cut that to 3 foot, and I put that in the middle, as you will see later, and that holds the ends or the middle of the beds from stretching out. When you fill it with soil and stuff, it holds it to that 3 foot width. So okay, I'm going to get started on that. I'm going to work on it. I'm by myself, so if you can get somebody to help you, it makes it a lot easier. But since I'm by myself, I'll be propping some boards up and doing some things like that. But it's really not hard at all to build these raised bed, and I've gotten pretty quick at building them. If you're on a level, like I said, it's really quick. I can throw one up in no time. But since this is on a little bit of a slope, now I don't worry about what's on the bottom or clearing anything out, because once I fill the raised bed, I will line it. These are made out of pressure treated lumber, so I don't worry too much about it, because today's pressure treated lumber, you don't have to worry about it leaching into the soil anymore, is what they say. The old type, it leached into the soil more. But I do, however, still line it. I take some fabric, the weed fabric, and I'll line the sides of it and the bottom of it with weed fabric. One that keeps anything from coming up through it. It keeps your soil from leaking out any areas that there may be a little bit of a gap, and it kind of gives you that barrier a little bit between the pressure treated lumber and the soil, in case there would be any leaching at all. But so I'll do that and I'll line it. So, but I'm not worried about what's on the bottom of the ground here, because that's going to be covered up with weed fabric, and then I'll fill it with soil, so it doesn't really matter. So we'll get started with that. Okay, quick reminder as a tip: you want to make sure your batteries are all charged before you start a project. I don't know how much juice I got left in the one battery here, but I had 2 batteries down here. One of them's about dead anyways, so I had to go up and get some different battery operated tools. I actually had one of my driver's battery went completely bad, so I'm missing one tool completely. So hopefully between these other ones that I'll have enough batteries to complete the project. Went and put the other one battery on the charger, so hopefully it'll be ready if I need it. All right, so we are done here. We got the dividers in the middle to hold the middle together, keep them from bowing out, and I got the seat on the bottom part. It's just 5/4 inch deck board. Along the bottom there is a seat, and I've got all the black weed fabric down. The only thing I don't have, and I will do later before I fill it with soil, I'm going to put a section along the bottom too of the weed fabric that'll go from one side to the other. I ran out and I didn't go get another roll here, so I did finish it like this, but I will run weed fabric underneath it to completely block off the soil underneath. So we'll get to filling it up, and that's the new raised bed. Now here, as you can see, where these boards are here is where the fence is going to come out to here, and I have some poles that I have cut and I have debarked. I've peeled them off and they're waiting. I want to let them dry out a little bit before I stain them, so I can put them in the ground. I stain them really good, especially where the part that's going to go in the ground, to try and get as many years out of them as I can, because they're not treated lumber. They're just lumber I've cut from the woods down below here. Some of the trees have fallen down. I try and reuse them. I like the look of that better than I do the treated lumber anyways for the poles. Plus it saves me a lot of money. So it will come to probably about here, I'm thinking, and then jog back into where the gate is, and that'll be where it ends. Then I will take and cover the grassy areas with some weed fabric and put down some bark, as I got to pretty much bark the whole garden this year, because trying to keep the weeds down. Last year the weeds kind of took over and it wasn't good. So that's where this project stands. I have some topsoil. Hopefully I have enough to do the whole bed and fill it. I have a feeling I may not, and I may have to find some additional topsoil to mix in, but I want to get that ready as soon as possible because I want to use this one to plant this year. So that's going to do it for this video here for the raised bed garden expansion. Thanks for watching. Catch up with me on Facebook. You can also email me at bbgardener@zoominternet.net. And as always, if your back ain't hurting, you ain't working.